mushrooms. You're all for it now.
Sharing my knowledge.
Sharing her knowledge. If I were you, I'd chuff in. They don't look like they're very phased, do they, the bad mushrooms? They're not even that bothered.
Just wait her a little.
They're just sort of chilling. So...
Let's sweeten the deal. What's this? Sparks and flames. Boing, boing, boom.
not chilling now, are they? Fucking dead, if anything. So, serves them right for being bad mushrooms, if anything. Dory is cool when she gets that bazooka out. It is cool.
Let's wait her a little.
Oosh, missed. Bad mushrooms, you fucking... Right, now I'm gonna try and unleash some of these red things. There's one over here. What's it doing over here in the corner? Oosh. And... Oosh! Don't fire it at me, you fucking bellend. And this one over here. Oosh! Is everything alright? What's going on? Hang on, hang on. Hang on, hang on. You enjoy my unique views on the gameplay, eating only vegan. Yeah, we could do some more of that sort of stuff, couldn't we? The stream looked like it's choppy. The bitrate won't tell me what the bitrate is, so I can't tell. Kilobytes at my end were a little bit on the 4000s then. Live unstable, it's saying. I don't know if that's a description of me and my mental state, or if that's like, you know, the stream is unstable. I'm certainly never got cut for a couple of minutes. Hope I didn't say anything interesting. All I'm doing is like this withering, so you haven't missed anything. I'm down a hole doing some withering. Despite everything that I've done in my power over the time to improve the... I don't know, man. We're on... look how quick they melt. Just destroy those things. Just destroy them. Yeah, I'm doing everything in my power at my end to make the streams work consistently. So, I'll just blame it on the internet and then...
Empty chest. Good for storage.
What else? Just that. I'll just blame it on the internet. And then not try and fix it or worry about it ever again. Just is what it is. I'm probably getting caught by the CIA for being a bad chuffer. Or the MI5 or something. For being a subversive chuffer. Where are we now? I think we've been here before, haven't we? Yeah, we've been here before. I don't know what it wants me to do, I've forgotten. What's happened now? Where's it gone? Alright, okay. Head over there. At the old Vimara village. That's a place I recognise. I don't know why anyone's not bothered God coming through. Don't know why they're... Hang on. We're going to head over to the village. Not that. I want to change my thing. I want to fly someday. I'll fly away. Switch. We're heading over to the village. Why aren't they bothered? God coming. None of these chuffers, these eremites that we kill are like, ooh, hang on. There's that God that I've heard of. I'll be nice to her. Like, they're all just like, yeah, let's have it. The people in the village, none of them are like, oh, hello. Do you need any... Can I do you a pair of shoes? Since you're my god. There's the village. Return to the secret base. Oh, we're in a secret base, so I can't remember how to get in there. Maybe it's a cave. I'll have that flower, though. That's mine. Yeah, we'll be down here. Returning to the secret base as instructed. Talk to Roy Yinjan in the secret base. Certainly will do. Hello, Ali Pali. Yeah, it's going cool. Yeah, I was just mentioning to you earlier. I was saying that I've started a second channel called Ganji Impact, just for Genshin Impact. At the moment, there's nothing on it, but I will, in the upcoming future, just start uploading. I'm not going to start from day one of my playthrough. I'm just going to start from now, uploading to there instead. The playlists will still all make sense, but the new channel will just be the, you know, I can't be asked with uploading 70, 80. It'll be 80 plus. It'll be like 100 videos that I have to upload there in order before I start uploading. And by then, I'll have already done more videos. So, but like that's coming soon. So it's going quite cool. Bit of hard work behind the scenes. Bit of just chilling and messing around on the scenes. Hello. Is it Jazari? Is this talk to Roy Jan in the secret base? Now, this guy's Jazari. That's not Roy Jan. So, should I talk to this guy? Maybe? Oh, there's a chest. Hang on. Why is there a chest up there? Get me up there. You don't fucking mess me about. That'd be such... It would, wouldn't it? A massive workload, yeah. But the thing is, at the end of it, it would look nice because all the videos would be on the same channel. Ah. So things that are good take work, and you just think, oh, I should do it, I should. But it would be a massive workload, and the payoff would be very minimal, because not many people would give a shit about whether they watched videos on a playlist that were on one channel or the other. You know, if you look at the playlist, you're not going to go, oh my god, this first 80 videos on this playlist are on his other channel. I'm not watching this. It's not going to make a shit of difference to you, is it? So, the new videos will just start appearing on the new channel. And
I wonder who this gift could be from.
as part of what I was just saying, I was thinking I need to find a way of making content that's little videos, little cheeky videos for the channel. Because if I'm going to have a Genshin Impact channel, I need to put little Genshin Impact videos on it. So, and I was saying there'll be these lives, so these lives won't appear
Find
on...
anything you like?
I know, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. There's a new person they can see now. Ganji Impact. This has got nothing on it yet. But this channel is Gravekipper Ganji Kid. And my lives there are not Genshin Impact. They're YouTube lives. And they're not Genshin Impact. They're a variety of content. Mainly me talking about a variety of stuff. But it's not Genshin Impact. The uploads from Twitch are Genshin Impact. Yes, they are. And there are loads of them. So it's like I've got 2 channels on the go. Haven't I? So all this stuff will now start going on Ganji Impact. Not all of this. This will stay here. Because as we said, it's too much work to upload all of that over there. And it won't make a difference anyway, will it? But the next uploads will start appearing here instead. And so, as well as that, trading card content. Yes, that's true. I would love to do that. That would be fun. Maybe that should have its own channel as well. Maybe everything should get its own channel. Yeah, I need to think of a little angle to start doing some edits. My only angle at the moment is I'm a fucking clown, so like I could do that. The reason your name came up earlier is because recently you were here and I said stuff about what it's like to start. Like, that could be tips for anyone that's new. I could edit that, put that on there. But I need to think of like maybe once a week, taking something out of our content and putting it as a Genshin Impact video, you know. And that way, this will have lives, uploads. I'll start doing some live YouTube Genshin Impact. Not the main story, that'll probably stay over on Twitch, but, you know, some grinds, some bits and pieces. I'll get that really up to speed with the uploads, and then I won't have to worry as well, because on this, I don't want to, like, I've got backlog of Genshin Impact uploads because I don't want to upload 3 or 4 Genshin Impact videos all in one big lot, because then the people over here will go, what? Why are you uploading all these Genshin Impact videos? So that'll make sense then. I can upload them all here on the day that we do them. They'll appear here the next day. Yeah, that'll all be good. And yeah, so as part of that, I have to, like, it just makes sense, doesn't it? I have to make a few little, don't have to like be doing it every day of the week, but like a few little videos that are not just binge, like not just the long form VODs. There should be some edits there as well. So if I ever want to edit something Genshin Impact related, I put it there. That would make sense. Right, I'm talking to Rojijan now in the secret base, but I'm not because I don't know what's going on. So I'll talk to this fucker instead. It's not this fucker, is it? Look. Have you found the fragments? I certainly have. Tell me, where is Rojijan in the secret base? Oh, here, look. Jewelry shop owner. What are you doing down here, you chuffer? You naughty chuffer. It's a catchy name for the channel, thanks. That's going to be, like, the best thing on there. I've already gone for the filler. You know, you have to put a header and a picture. I've already gone for the filler header and the filler picture, and then that's going to stay there for like 9-10 months, become the identity, and then when I change it, people go, why did you change the original header? I like the old header. And I'll be like, yeah, but it's just like badly edited. Right, I found the fragments for this old man. You two are so alike. Well, I don't even know what we're talking about. Just get on with it. Adventurer. There's a story. Oh, I'm telling him a story. So that was a good bit. I'll remember that for years to come. A great adventure indeed. That story's enough for him. A flower. Hang on, I think I remember this. Have you recalled anything? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's the past, so forget it. Good, forget it. You forget it. I'll forget it. Spearmint fucking mushroom. Go on. It's your flower. No one wants the flower. We spent ages trying to get this flower. No one wants it. So... I just talked to him. He's up there. I've just talked to him. I know where he is. Hello. Thank goodness I'm back. Me, I'm back. You're back. Well, he said you're back, but I'm saying it's me because it's me. Thank goodness for me. Thank goodness I'm back. Yes, that's them all right. Thanks. Now what I want to do is I want to go somewhere and then return so I can say to the people that I return to, thank goodness I'm back. I'm going to say it every time I return to a room now. Thank goodness I'm back. He's fixing the device, so that's good. I don't fucking know what's going on. If I'm honest, I don't... am I going to go with the old formula for the thumbnails, try and add some banners, coloration to it? Oh yeah, yeah, good. Good. I'll do that, yeah. I'll do that. I forgot about it a little bit, to be honest, but I will, yes. Yes, I will do that. Long play VODs, edits, things like that, yeah. I should write it down on something. I'm just sat up to a computer, so I should use the computer really, shouldn't I? But it's running Genshin Impact and all this. Mind you, when I come to edit things, I might see it go past in chat again and be like, oh, I remember that. Welcome to my company. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why it'd be funny. Exactly. Hello, everyone. It's me. I hope you're all ready for some... Welcome to my company. Turning up at someone's house. Welcome to my... yeah. Do you know what I find very funny is that I'm on Twitter at the moment doing a bit of tweeting, and I find it very funny. There's a difference in the way people use Twitter. Some people use it to, I don't know, share memes or funny jokes, retweets and tweets, things like that. Other people, like me, do use it for a bit of self-promotion. Here's my new video. Be on stream for a bit. Why don't you have a look, you chuffer? Stuff like that. I do a lot more tweeting of my art at the moment. My art, the artificial intelligent art. Do a lot more tweeting of pictures. Just let them go by on your newsfeed. A lot of tweeting. And then I see some people, and Twitter for them, bear in mind it is a public forum where everyone can access your feed and see what you're tweeting. And Twitter for them is like, what I'm doing right now, me, my face. Have you seen my face? I think I might have a spot on my face. Video of me talking about my spot on my face. Oh, have you seen my hair? I think I might have a grey hair. Video of me talking about my grey hair. Have you seen, today I'm eating a sandwich. I like sandwiches. Video of me talking about why I like sandwiches and what my favourite sandwiches are. Video of me. And it's like fucking boring. It's just like all about you and how self-absorbed you are. And what you're doing on your day-to-day life isn't very interesting. Like, I could understand if you were like, filming the new Spider-Man film or something. Like video of me backstage filming Spider-Man. Fucking wow. Wow, alright then, go on then, show me that. Video of me fucking doing my shopping backstage, like, no. Video of me, I think this. Never a retweet, never a thought about... When it is, it's only like a self-serving, we're all in the same club. Oh, I love your work. Oh, I love your work too. Oh, I love your work. I love your work too. You're good, we're good. Like, just fucking hell, man. Like, the modern world and listening to people talk about themselves, I talk about myself a lot on this stream, so I am a huge hypocrite. But that's why I think these things are funny, is because it's just like so common these days to be like, right, everyone shut up, it's all about me. And I do it as a bit of a joke sometimes on this stream, like, you know, I over-egg my own self-importance. But some people don't do it like as a joke, they're just honestly like full-on Ron Burgundy mode. It's baffling. Right, he's happy about his machine, so good. Glad he's happy about that. We got the primos, and that's that quest completed. I'm left in the cave on my own. Well, open the ruined golem seal. Wait, we'll do that. Well, I'm opening a ruined golem seal. Yeah. Where's that? It's over there. Right, come on then. Pew! Straight up there, mate. No messing. Let's see what goes on. Can we fire it at somebody? Think we'll get it moving? Oh! Oh, hello. I've been in one of these before in the other ruin guard, haven't I? So I know my way around this a little bit. Where's my chest? Looks just like the big robot Paimon once visited. Exactly Paimon. You may have been inside another ruin golem. Yeah, we have. Yeah. So it's nothing new to me. You might be thinking this is amazing, Jazari. You know, I'll let you have your minute, but for me it's just standard. You know, it's just standard basic shit. We're just not, you know, we're just like day in, day out. Inside a ruin guard, outside a ruin guard. Yeah, you know, basic shit to me, mate. There's new dialogue. Is this new dialogue? Right, I'll tell you what I think they changed. I'll tell you what I was wondering about this. Is I sent them a fucking thing saying I don't like killing all these animals. I don't think you should be killing all these animals. I think it's bad. And then I got I got one of these commissions, and it was like, we have to scare away the crocodiles because they're bad for the other animals. So actually we're doing an ecologically good thing. So if you can scare away the crocodiles. And I was like, so now you're giving me a context why the animals are bad. When I told you I didn't like it because I thought they were bad. Now you're giving me a context. If you visit the desert one first, it gives different... Apparently it didn't say that when I did this. Oh, right, because I did the desert one first, yeah. That's a good point, hasn't it? So it knows. Oh, I thought you meant they just like updated it, because maybe they didn't update it with the animals thing then. Maybe that was just me tripping, but I got the feeling that the animals have been less aggressive to me after I complained that I'm vegan and I don't like the animals being in the environment having to be killed. Like, I just thought like they might have taken it on. This is cool though, yeah. I mean, it's cool, but I'm going to skip through the fucking stuff. Just not ignore it. Because it's irrelevant to me, but yeah. Iskar said, behold the 1,000-year history of Canria before us. Well-known researcher, the one we saw, this seems really deserted. Enough about the well-known researcher thing. Compared to the one we saw, this seems really deserted, Paimon says. Of course. According to the text named, the review of the research on issues related to the ruined golem of ancient Canria, the last scholar who managed to get inside a ruined golem for systematic research was Priya Kavakus. No, it's me. I'm sure you didn't know this, but Priya Kavakus was one of the greatest scholars in Kashafashu era's history. Kavakus, the fucking names, mate. Genuine academic genius. With his achievements, he'd become a sage sooner or later. Look, just fucking get on with it. Get on with it, you. Smash open the entrance. Activate the golem. Get data, he's saying. So, we'll start him from the steering cabin. Yeah. Separation valve. Look, just let me get on with it, please. I've only got 20 minutes before I want to watch that podcast. Oh no, it's my podcast. Like, come on. He's talking a lot now. You've got to go down to the power cabin. Down. Activate the relays. Activate. Activate relays. Relays activate. Oh shit. Oh hello. Are you the relays? No. I'm here looking for some relays.
Everyone hold hands.
Could you hold hands for me?
Jumpy, jumpy, toe.
And then I'll be... Well... You're probably gonna... find this a bit of an inconvenience, if anything, but... I'm gonna be smashing you to absolute bits with my team of Little chuffers.
Tap a sweet little. Roll them all up. Boing, boing, boom. Jumpy, jumpy, jump.
Sorry to be an inconvenience. Sit down, Joe. Sit down quick, Joe. There you go. You're dead. Right. What am I doing now? I was on there before. No, it won't let me on there. Get on there, you. Get on it. It wants me to go on that, so get on it. Ah! Or do I do something with it? What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? No, I've got to do this. I'm not sure. He's not sure about what they are, but if I get them, I can activate a device or some shit, so I've got them and then I'll do that. It's magic. Can you post links? No. You can post them in... it's because it's on a hard moderate, because I don't have mods, so, you know, I just have it on Twitch's own harsh moderation system. There was a very fitting parody post about the style of dialogue. Everything is buried under so much fluff. Is it a YouTube video? Because I can find it on YouTube, or is it like a, you know, an actual post? I don't mind the dialogue too much. The only thing I mind is when it's not voice acted, because I'm sitting here entertaining, talking to you, having to sit and read it, and me do all the readings, not for me. So I don't think it's bad. If I was playing on my own, I'd probably read more of the dialogue. We'll have a look. Copy paste. Copy. Paste. Come on then, Google. Fucking taking ages there. Why is it all look? Hi Traveller, I didn't expect to see you in here. I was just browsing on Reddit when I thought about something. Paimon, was it food? This is Genshin Impact. Was it food? I do think that Paimon messes me about sometimes and then is used for exposition, so that she says what I just learned a bit more simply, so I know that I've learned it. Paimon, you're always thinking with your stomach. Paimon, hey, that's not fair. Sometimes Paimon thinks with her brain. Long unskippable animation of the Traveller slightly smiling that you keep mashing skip through. Anyway, like I was saying, I thought about something. I felt I should make a post about it. You see, sometimes I see a lot of people on this subreddit get confused by the number of people who think Genshin's dialogue is too bloated, or there's too much of it in general. Is this like when I see someone post, don't play if you can't read, or this isn't the game for you if you don't like dialogue? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. And you can skip through it, but not skip all of it. Right, so I demonstrate. By now I'm sure you've noticed this post has taken a long time to even approach the topic. It's frustrating, isn't it? To have to click so many times to reveal even the basic premise of what I'm trying to say. Well, this is one of the chief issues with Genshin's writing. I actually feel like they do this deliberately because two things. One is it draws you through the process so that you're involved in the... Like, if you just skip, it says the main thing, skip. It's not realistic dialogue. You want that drawing you through. And it, like, keeps you, like... it's kind of, like, engaged. Like, if I were to tell you a story... oh, you're going to want to know what happened to me on the bus yesterday. Let me just get you a cup of coffee and then I'll tell you, because it's such an exciting story. On the bus yesterday, right? Wait, you sit there. You're not going to believe this. Like, the more of that bullshit that I do at the start, the more we hype up what goes on the bus. If I just start off by saying, there was a man on the bus and he dropped his wig. Like, that's just it. It doesn't have the same impact if I went, right, so this man came on the bus and he was there and it was a windy day and he was grabbing at his head like this and, like, you know, building it up and giving you time to think about these things. It, like, makes you involved more the more you're clicking through it and stuff. So there is part of drawing a narrative like that. But also, hello stranger, this is the path and win a new weekly boss. Like, but also, I do agree, like, it is very verbose, and I do think because it's a game about time, you know, the new event is out for 17 days, and that's your content for 17 days. So if you finish it in one day, it's 17 days. There's 16 days of nothing and 1 day of content. So I know that the events don't take a full 17 days. They're out for longer, so you've got time to do it when you want. As we're going to do, leave it until after the weekend. But sometimes the amount of content in the game can be stretched out by the amount of writing, or maybe another way to say it, the writers have been given a certain amount of space to fill, and like fill it with content, please, because like that's the game, isn't it? So if you went through and did it, and another thing I think they suffer with is that this is put out every 8 weeks, every 6 weeks. So you've done your writing, you've put it together, the coders have coded it. On the playthrough, it seems a bit verbose, it seems a bit long. Maybe you'd cut this down. Well, you can't. It's out now. It's live. We're moving on to the next thing. Start writing my next chapter, please. Like, if I was doing this as a playthrough, like Breath of the Wild 2 is going to come out. It's going to come out a year later, or a month later, or, sorry, 9 months later to a year later than it was originally scheduled for. So they've got a lot more time to go over it and think about it and edit it and re-edit it. Genshin, they just don't have that amount of time. They don't have that freedom, because once the decisions are made, I guess you've probably got about 1 or 2 changes and then it's in stone. They're coding it, it's in. So I think they suffer with that as well. It turns into a technical presentation without the fluff, yeah. And emotional, yeah, it needs those emotional tones to it to make you part of it as well. But also in such a way that, like, if I tell you a piece of information, the man on the bus lost his wig, like that, just, you've heard the information. But if I take you on a journey with me, like, you're not going to believe what happened to me earlier. Right, I started off I was cold, so I decided to get the bus. Like, you know, if I add in all this other stuff, like this story to it, then you're on a journey, you're on a story, you're on the bus, you're doing this, you're doing that. The wig fell off and he was shocked, and this, you know, it becomes more engaging emotion, like you said about emotional overtones. Like, you engage people emotionally, and then like, which one was the better story afterwards? Well, obviously the one that I was emotionally involved. Why? I'm not going to say because I was emotionally involved with it, but I'm going to say it just felt better. You know, it was more interesting. But really, it's because you're making emotional connections. People are thinking with those different levels. So I think there is something to that, to say that taking people on a journey, like they do it in advertising and marketing. They don't just want you to know the price. They want you to go through a little emotional journey to get to the information, so that you're like, there's more to it. You see, this depth, and it's used well sometimes to make you feel that you're part of this world and game and conversation, and sometimes it's maybe implemented a little poorly. The other thing I would say is that it's translated from another country. Like, it's probably written originally in Chinese, I think. So maybe there's something about that, you know, in translation it becomes more verbose. Maybe that. It isn't that folks don't enjoy reading or are bored by dialogue and story, far from it. It's that the storytelling style of Genshin can be extremely aggravating when it meanders, much like this post has. I can't do all this post because it's actually making me angry already. It's not awful, right? It's not awful. At the end, pie on bread. It's not awful. It has some issues. And this final issue that I would say is that the game has to take a certain amount of time. So maybe, and I don't want to accuse them of this up front without, you know, giving them the benefit of all those other aspects beforehand, but maybe they just say, look, this game needs filling out here. So take what you've said there and make it last longer. And so they just do this to it, you know, maybe that. Paimon is used to describe, for the more, I don't want to say simple-minded, because it's like used as a derogatory term, but what I mean is, like, some people might play the game and might be like grown-up chess players, and other people might play the game and might be like young children. And so Paimon sort of explains things on a very easy level. If you didn't quite get everything, Paimon will just make sure you know what's going on. So that's legit, that's fair to have someone doing that exposition on that other level, just in case, like, to clarify everything. It annoys me because I don't need to hear it. Like, once I've heard them say it once, I don't need Paimon to say it back to me in childish language, but it is there for that reason. It's a Chinese game. They can fill in more words on the same lines for characters, so yeah, you don't know if it's the same in Chinese. It might be much more succinct in Chinese, and this might be a problem it might even be a problem that can be fixed in translation. If you were to say to the translators, give me this, but give it me in fucking half the words, please, because when you translate it, it tends to get big. So give me half the words. You know, you could fix that in the future. They could fix it by just putting those parameters on their writers, saying, look, we feel it's getting a bit like this. These are the criticisms. Deal with it. So it could be improved. If it doesn't get improved, I feel it's a deliberate choice. Something we have to put up with for the sake of the pacing of the game and the amount of time that we're intended. Like, apart from my fucking diversions, my tangents, a lot of the story mode is taken up with this, and we have to sit through it. You could, like, if you put a stopwatch on how long the content lasts, this part is on the stopwatch, guaranteed for everyone. Everyone goes through the same amount of time, whether you skip as quick as you can or not. There's a minimum amount of time you will spend in cutscenes, and that means that for the developers, you're going to be playing this game for this amount of time, plus whatever time it takes you to run around and do this shit. So it like puts a soft bottom limit on how long the content will take you. And if they want that, if people are rushing through the content too quick in playtests, they can literally just say, add 10% more words, job done. It now will take them 2 more days. Maybe that. He's got the blueprints. We're going to connect the keys and do all that. This sounds questionable. There's nothing else we can do, so we might as well do it. He's going to stay here. I've got to finish this now because otherwise... oh shit, right. According to him, the energy blocks are auxiliary power. Yeah, I got that. Energy blocks can be inserted and removed and placed in a different spot. Oh god. It's a puzzle. Make the path lead upwards. What are you on about? You think they've got X amount of dialogue boxes? Because in Spanish they drag the one-liners. That's a good point, yeah, because each box takes a certain amount of time, doesn't it? You don't subscribe to the idea that writing is being bad. The style is just kind of wonky at times, yeah. There's a lot of reasons why we've covered now why style might be affected by circumstance. Like, certainly translation would play a huge part in it, I'm sure. And it's forgivable, because you can skip through it, can't you? Like, you don't have to, what's going on now? Go to the middle level. Oh shit, okay. I've got a feeling I'm going to run out of time doing this, because I wanted to knock it on. I'll go 9:15, 9:20. I want to hear my message being read out on that being said. Because it's a funny one. I decided to go for comedy instead of social, like difficult social questions. Even though this week I put out a video, I just need to say this, I want to say it now, so I'll say it while you're here. Because this week I put out a video on Battery Exhausted, the B-side channel. So if I go channels, Battery Exhausted, videos, I did a live. It was actually a live. I did Rise of the Influencers. Look, Mad Season did a new video. Do you like Mad Season Show? I love Mad Season Show. He did a new video, so I reacted to it like Asmongold does. There's a reaction to that. And I also did DSP, Dense Disabilities and Detractors. Now, a lot of people call DSP's fans his dents or his wheelchairs. They use the term wheelchairs, and they use the wheelchair symbol in chat, and I fucking hate it. I've said it all there in that. The reason I did it is because Meerkat tweeted, I'm doing the most autistic song I've done yet on Twitter. And so I tweeted in response. It's all on that video there. My opinion is that we shouldn't be using these slurs against the disabled. The end. But it's not the end. It's like 2 hours worth of content that I discussed. But I was going to ring in to the show, to the That Being Said today, and say, is it okay that we use these slurs? Instead, I've left room. I haven't tagged them and added them in it, but there's a possibility they might have seen this. I've left room for it to permeate through the detractor sphere. You know, only 20 people have watched it. Maybe the right 20 people have watched it. If today's show features those slurs against the disabled, next week I will be asking the question. If it doesn't, then good, we can just move on. So, that's what happened this week with me. It's not a big drama. It's just I stand against the detractor community at large in this use of language, and I made a video questioning it because I don't want anyone to question me. Steve is on our show on Thus, so if you're on my main channel on Gravekipper, you know, Steve is on Thus here on our thing, Thus, and we've got another one coming out on Monday. So, you know, me and Steve both I've asked him directly. I'm not speaking for him or dragging him into this, but we're not going to use that word wheelchairs or dents or like spurgs or whatever. You know, we don't. Or I'd say I don't know about dents for Steve. I haven't asked him specifically about dents maybe, but you know, we're not using those terms. Definitely not in my broadcasts, and don't stand by it. So I wanted to make sure that was clear and said on my other channel, because we talk about Phil a bit, don't we? So if it becomes an issue within the community that I can see it's too consistent, now that I've brought it up, if it continues, then I will bring it up a little bit more. That's all. So, but today I'm waiting on a much more funny episode. I've just gone for, you know, I'm not going to try and beat them around the head and neck with my opinions, but you know, if it becomes important, I will bring it up more until it gets talked about. But not this week. I've gone for comedy. So yeah, just saying that. Talk to Jazari lower. What? I don't want to talk to him lower. I wanted to go up in the thing, didn't I? Why don't you come up with me, you idiot? I've got the lift working, so he's looking for an energy block. Collect all 4 relays in the... Connect all the relays in the middle. If it's up, I'm going to be pissed off, because I was just up there. I mean, for fuck's sake. Now I've got to wait for the lift. I mean, that's a good example of what I was just talking about, isn't it? Deliberate waste of my time. This is just time that it takes to go up there. And they know it takes some amount of time, so they make me go down and do it again. I've drawn it out of that. What? Connect all 4 relays in the middle. Place. So what, I need to go downstairs and take them out the things, or I need to find new ones? I hate this as much as you can imagine I do. I can't take them out of there, because before it said you can take them out of those things and put them where you want them. I can't take them out of there. Can't wait for the lift again. Dent as in someone who has a concave in the top. I assume it means... See, this. My question was going to be, why do we call them dents and wheelchairs? Is it about time we stopped using these disabled slurs? Or are we as hypocritical, you know, because people say to Phil that he's bad because he's using these hateful slurs? Or aren't they just the same sort of hateful slurs? Right, that's a straightforward question. I'm not going to ask it this week. Like I said, I've already kicked up a fuss this week on my channel. Not a big fuss. I asked Meerkat to his face what he thought about his use of language there, autism. He stood by it. I made my video. He knows I've done that. I tweeted him with it. You know, if he wants to, you know, bring it up with his mates, talk about it on the podcast, they can. If they let it, I'd be happy with. No, it doesn't get talked about, but it goes away. If you know what I mean. Like, I don't have to go and make a big song and dance about it on the internet, and they, you know, talk privately and decide we're not going to do that anymore. And Meerkat, can you not do it on our show? And then if that goes that way, that goes that way. If tonight they're all talking about dents and dent heads, I'm going to be calling in next week to say what I just said. But I've got to give it a week for it to, you know, settle rather than be too, you know, in the same way as I didn't jump on those ASMR people, I've just got to give things a little bit of time to settle. At the start of the week I did my video, and told Meerkat what I thought on the Twitter, didn't I? So at least give it a week. But yeah, I'm going to rock the boat there if I have to, because it's just not acceptable, is it? And it makes it makes them into fools, because if you are going to be a hypocrite, then, you know, it's stupid, isn't it? Because, what the fuck's this? What's down here? Oh, it's downstairs, right? I didn't want to do that then, did I? Yeah, it makes them want to, and it makes me as well into not just a hypocrite, but I'd be complicit with a bunch of people who are ridiculing the disabled, and I'm not doing that. You know, I don't want to be complicit with that. I've already given money to their podcast. You know, I've already... What's that? Is that like a button? I need to go in there. What the fuck is going on? I've already contributed to them through tippies. So, you know, it could be levelled at me that I'm contributing towards the mistreatment of the disabled. Oh, I see, place, and then I can take that out. And I can have that back as well, thank you. Okay, I've got it now. Place. Yeah, you're right. With commentary like that, it's good to look for timing. Yeah, I think that's why I did it on my own channel, because, you know, I'm not trying to get involved in their thing and be like, oh, fuck you and spoil your thing. What I'm trying to do is speak to the audience at large and the detractor community specific, but nobody, I don't want to start a fight with Meerkat or start a fight with, like, you know, anyone in particular. It's not anyone in particular. Meerkat represented it and backed it up and stood up for it. So, you know, on Twitter, if you're going to say something, I'll talk to you on Twitter direct in public and we'll talk about it. But I'm not going to then make a video and say, oh, I mean, I did make a video about what we said together on Twitter as the example, but I'm not going to be like, Scott versus Meerkat, whose side are you on? Like, that's not what it's about. If anything, I think it can go away quietly, but yeah. You were saying that they can improve dialogue cinematics with adding more stuff on the screen. Yeah. They can improve it gently, couldn't they? And the storytelling can grow organically with live service games. The BGM is kind of creepy. Okay, we're all good. Caught up there. Place. What the fuck's going on now? Why won't it let me in? Oh, I see, because the sides aren't lit up. Hang on. What the fuck is going on here? Mysterious Chronicle. Wasting my time. Something for...
Smell of treasure. Strange.
Something for my stupid teapot. Okay, I'll put that in there. Fight this. Oh, I was switching.
No, I didn't.
It does annoy me. I don't switch quick enough when I get killed. It must be me because it's happening all the time. So I used to think it was that I pressing the button, the game wasn't letting me switch. But I must be getting caught in a death loop before it's time for me to press the button. I'll leave that one powered up, obviously, and I'll just take my piece from the doorway. I'll put one back in there now, because I should have enough of these pieces. One needs to be in there as well, doesn't it? So, if I fuck this up in some way... Take it out. Oh, wait, no, wait, let's put it in because... Let's see if that lights up. So So now I'm locked in here. I can't get to the one outside, look. It will only let me touch this one. Oh my fucking god. Soft locked in Genshin Impact. I didn't know it was possible. I'm gonna have to teleport out, aren't I? So that means that's fine. I'll end the episode here and we'll come back and do this another time. Because, fuck. Oh, let me out. Unbelievable. How have I done that? It's quite funny, really. But yeah. That happened to you as well. It's like, again, this would be something that on a playtest they would take out of a game. They'd fix that, but they'd put a little button on the inside or some shit. You know, they'd fix it. But because it's not, you don't have time to fix all these little tiny little things that come out through repeated playtests. It's ended up in the game.
Next, how about I take you on a walk?
Go on then. Where are you going to go for a walk? Because you're locked in here forever, sucking off the radiation of that thing, having that radiate you. So, I wanted to look at what you've written up here as well. Meerkat destroyed and he's... Yeah. I'm not doing that sort of thing, yeah. Although I can and did. You know, the point that I make stands. Meerkat said it was an I'm not going to go over it over here, but he said it was an autistic song that he was making, and he's using autistic in that old sort of Pickle Rick autistic screeching ha 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 internet meme way, which was a 2015 meme and now we're 7 years down the line, so or was it like 2017? Anyway, it's an old meme and everyone's grown up and moved on, and we don't use autism and autistic screeching and spurg these days, and if you do, then you're as bad as Phil going Charlie Chan chiki chiki chang wang. So my point stands, and I just, like, if it doesn't get fixed overnight, which it won't, the whole community aren't going to watch my video overnight. Only 20 people have watched that. I don't know even if it's 20 people in the community. They are a community. Oh, we're all just individuals acting on our own. Yeah, but you're the Dark Side Field Attracts community, and that being said is the sort of hub focus of it at the moment. Accept it or don't. It is what it is, you know. Sometimes things are determined by the market, not by you yourself, the product producer, and that is what that is, isn't it? It's the community hub for that. So autism's lost its original meaning, like many other words adopted as internet slang. No, yeah, well, it did and didn't. That was like in the same way as when I was a kid, everyone called each other gay. Like, it didn't, for us, it didn't mean you are actually homosexual, but it was the denigration of our peers. The joke was gay, like, you know, you're gay, you're like, autist. It does mean autistic screeching. It does mean those things. It hasn't lost its original meaning for those that are actually autistic. Like, it's not okay for you to say, oh, I use wheelchairs in a totally non-discriminatory way. Otherwise,
you have to see the world for yourself to appreciate how beautiful.
Otherwise, you are Dark Side Phil saying, you know, racist jokes are okay, aren't they? Because, you know, racism lost its meaning. It was just a joke. I wasn't really being racist. So I can say Charlie Chan, Chiki Chiki Chang Wang, off the table Jew. Not off the table, off the pavement Jew. You know, I can say these things as a joke because I don't really mean them, and it's lost its original meaning on the internet. You know, the N-word doesn't really mean the N-word, does it? So I can say it as much as I want. It's just internet slang. It's not how it works. It's just, I know what you mean though. You know, you saw it everywhere because immature people were pushing it around everywhere because they didn't care. But really, even then, it wasn't really acceptable. Not really. Honestly, not really. Like, people like me who were a bit more grown up when it started off as a meme thought... I remember hearing Asmongold talking about spurgs all the time and thinking, what is this word that's coming up, spurgs? And then, like, you know, I did a quick old man internet search and turned out it meant Asperger's. And I was like, all right, that's a slur, isn't it? That's fucking as bad as saying, you know, something about someone's race or their gender. You know, having a go at somebody and giving them, like, you know, spastic is not really used as a slur. And, you know, you just can't call someone a spastic. When I was a kid, you called each other spackies. You spastic. Like, you do that when I was a kid, like when I was 8 years old, not when I was like 15 years old. By then, that had to be bred out of me like, you know, told off as a child. No, this is not why you don't do this. And the reason why, because it wasn't even acceptable back then. So decouple from the original context, no, I don't think it has. But I see what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Like, Meerkat doesn't mean it to like denigrate the autistic. He means that Darkseid feels being an idiot, and autistic just means like stupid idiot. But that is like, that decoupling from its original meaning and attaching to a new meaning is the whole point. That's what's wrong, is that the people who are autistic don't want it to be used to mean fucking idiot because they're autistic. So it's like rude to them to say that. It would be like me saying, yeah, you know, like we decoupled the original meaning of Pakistani, Paki, and now I can call someone a Paki on the street and I mean it like a slur. Well, it's good that you decoupled the meaning then, isn't it? Like, no, it's still, like, these words still mean things, like, to other people. You can't decide how the other person hears them, how society accepts them. These days we don't use retard as a oh, you fucking retard. We don't, you don't say that to people. And if you do, then you're on the wrong side of choosing the right words. Okay, it can be really funny though to be like you've got Down syndrome, ha ha ha. Like, in the right context, I could even see that people could say these things, and I can see why it sounds like, why it's funny, even though it's well wrong. Like, funny, okay. And this is what I made this point in my video anyway. Like, maybe you want to go and watch that, but like, sometimes it's okay to be a funny cunt. It's okay to be a funny cunt because you're being funny. And even people who, want to take you down for being socially irresponsible can actually say, no, well, you're being a funny cunt. Frankie Boyle's a funny cunt. If you're just a cunt, if you're not funny, you're just a cunt. And then you've got problems. So I don't know about this meaning and who chooses the meaning. I'm not sure I'd accept that as a fair and valid yeah, because you just apply the way to think about it, the way for me to work this out is autism, right? Being used as a I've made the most autistic song about Phil, or autism, it's fucking screeching autist. Like, is that okay? Okay, well, let's say I changed autism to something else, like gay or black or like whatever, like feminine, another trait that occupies a not something that someone is born like, that they didn't choose, that is a human trait. Like, is it okay for me to say that about them, these other groups? I don't think it is. So why the autistic should accept, and bear in mind, there's a lot of people who are autistic that might not agree with me. Fine, it's irrelevant. It's not about whether, black people think it's racist doesn't mean it's racist, or does mean it's racist. It's about whether it's racist, and it's not about whether, because there's a lot of autistic people. I know someone who's autistic. They wouldn't be able to have this conversation with us and explain these things that I'm explaining. I don't even know if it would really hurt them or not, what happens on the internet, because I don't think they even see it all. But it's harder maybe for the general. If you're a young child suffering with autism, it's harder for you to have your voice heard because it's harder to express yourself in the fucking first place. So I think we need to be extra careful with things like that. I would hate for someone who's young and autistic to watch any of my content and hear me bandying that word around like an insult, and for them to feel bad inside because it's who they are. And I think it's just a fucking... that wasn't a claim said just for you to justify the use of the word. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like... you're not saying we can use it because of that. You're saying that Meerkat probably didn't mean all this offence by it. But, he's tweeting and he's an adult. So as he is now a more prominent member of that community, his behaviour is just as much on display and on the internet as Phil. And you've got to hold yourself up to the same standards, because otherwise you're a massive hypocrite. I feel like I should have done that. I should have done this. So this is more on my heart than a funny joke. So maybe I should have dragged down their podcast. If it goes on, because I watch the podcast and that's what I'm going to do in a minute, but if it goes on any further, I can't just keep it on my channel with my little voice, can I? I have to at people. I have to, when I see it in chat, say, hang on, why did you do that? I don't think that's acceptable. And they can think what they want, say what they want, but I have to draw my lines in the sand. I've done it on my channel quietly, so it's there publicly. So in the future... as well, I'm covering my ass in a little bit here. Oh, you were on That Being Said podcast this week. You did a phone in. They used this slur. You by association, are part of this. No, I'm not. Look, clearly. So, I don't know. I don't feel good about it. And I was having a bit of fun with that community on that podcast. I was having fun. And it stopped being so fun this week when someone made a direct slur against the disabled on my Twitter feed. Not to me, at Scott, not that, just on the Twitter feed that I follow. Yeah, and then defended it. This will now probably be uploaded onto YouTube 2 weeks later. And if anyone sees this on YouTube weeks later, bear in mind there might not be a kerfuffle about it, and it might be worse for me to be uploading this 2 weeks later, and maybe there has been a kerfuffle. I don't know. I hope there's no kerfuffle. Like I said, what I hope for is just I'll stay in prison.
If you're not sure what to do next, how about I take you on a walk?
And we move forwards. Like, hopefully the just our words lose meaning by being sucked into the vortex of the internet, and then the empathetic people who said vortex use the watered down version because it's a universal blunt object in discourse. Yeah, I mean, that's how we used to use spastic and gay. Yeah, that's how they used to use the N. But I nearly said the N word then because it's the correct context for me to say it. Is that's how they used to use it. Like, that's the problem. I agree with you, and I think that's the problem. I think that's, you know,
what they say is true. You have to see the world for yourself to appreciate how
more
beautiful
relaxed critical
it
thinking
is.
and emotional intelligence on the part of the users. Yes, that was me when I was 8 years old, when someone had to pull me aside and say, you know, you shouldn't call him a spastic because it's hurtful to people who have got disabilities. Spastic's a word that means spasticity, and I didn't know that. I thought spastic was just a word we use as like, yeah, you're a spastic. And obviously I was 8 years old, and you know, you learn your lesson. And then, like, somehow someone like Meerkat hasn't learned that, and he's fucking grown up. So I agree with what you're saying, and it's a lack of critical thinking and emotional intelligence. But if we need people like me to tell people, then something's gone wrong with their emotional intelligence and their upbringing. But it needs to be said if it's going on in a group on the internet, and if it's going to be said by somebody. I'm fairly new to this, aren't I? I'm fairly new to the detractor community. I've done a couple of things about Phil with Steve. I'm watching this. That being said, you know, let's call it months. It's only been since this year that I've been involved in that. I wasn't doing it at the start of the year, and as I maintain, I won't still be doing it in a year or two's time. You know, I still check in with Phil and what's happening with Phil every now and then, but I haven't got a daily desire to feed off that man. I worry about people that make it their day-to-day hobby and full-time lifestyle, I guess. I can understand the content creators because they're making content, so there are other reasons to be involved. But people who watch feel like a negative soap opera, the detractors themselves who are that into it, I can see why it's fun for a while. But if you're doing it for more than a year, 2 years, if it's your thing, you know, that's your hobby, then you know you do want to question yourself, because there are better things to be spending your time doing in the world, aren't there? And if it's justice you seek, then let's meter it out and move on. Like, I guess in part of that is because Phil hasn't and will never like give in, so the justice can never quite be fully meted out, and will continue to be deservingly shoveled onto him, won't it? I guess. That maybe interesting, next, a really interesting conversation about how far you should follow Phil down that rabbit hole, and how far you should commit to being part of that. You know, how much of your life you want to devote to the detraction of Philip Burnell. Now, I think we were talking about time today in the game, and I'm quite happy to have my character stood there while I talk to you. This is my time I'm taking, I'm spending wisely. What was I thinking about the other day? See, now I'm wasting my time because I can't remember what I was thinking. I was thinking this is my life and my time. Oh, that was it. Talking about making this voice call to That Being Said, which I'm about to, I'm doing them a favour here, bear in mind. I'm advertising their thing on my channel and saying that they're good and I enjoy it. You know, I'm not being mean and negative. There's only one member out of the 3 that's irked me this week because of their behaviour. The rest of them I'm very much respectful of, and I'm so respectful I haven't kicked up a big fuss and done a phone-in thing. So but maybe next week. However, what I would say is, I sort of lost my point. Yeah, I was thinking about, I was going to send them in some content, essentially. I've made them a voice call. It's 30 seconds long. It's content. They can use it to bounce off and riff off and answer. It's going to be some good content for them. So it's not for me to say, but I think I'm giving them ready-made shorts as well. They're trying to make shorts. I should actually, this is another conversation that I should talk about in a more Phil-based context, but they're trying to make shorts for their channel. Do a little short question. Everyone give a quick answer to it. There's your short. I'll tell Steve that. I'll tell him that. Anyway, the point is, I was thinking about making these. What should I call in with? How should I say it? And I was thinking, I'm overthinking this because I'm not making content for them. When I think carefully about what I write in on my Twitter or in response to somebody on a video, there's a difference. I could be making my content. I could be uploading my videos and writing my own things. Instead, I'm contributing to someone else's content, and it's taking time in my life. Like, so should I spend more than half an hour on this? Absolutely not, because it's not my content, is it? I'm enjoying being part of it and listening to it and all that, like I've said, but like, should I spend a lot of my time worrying about their content? No. And that also goes for this discussion about wheelchairs and dents. I'm not going to do it in my content. I'm pretty confident what I'm going to do in my content, so why does it even matter what they do in theirs? I'll say it, I'll raise it, and they can make their choices, but I'm not going to create a hate campaign and go on and on about it. Like I said, this week I've done the one video. Next week, if it doesn't clean up, then I will bring it to that being said direct.
What they say is true. You have to see the world for yourself to appreciate how beautiful it is.
But this is what I meant about people who watch Phil, who watch the content about Phil, who engage in these conversations, me included. Like, if I'm still doing that in a year and Phil's still doing the same thing in a year, like, it's like what you might like a football team. Then maybe you watch football, it's always the same game, but it changes every week. I get it. Yeah, okay. If you're watching football all your life, it's your hobby. Okay, it's not sad. It just is what it is. But I think as humans, we can grow and we can change and move forward. So if you yourself find yourself in a place, like we've had COVID, we've had, there's lots of different reasons why people might have been watching a bit more content recently, staying in, getting into the Phil story. You go down the rabbit hole. You go down the rabbit hole and you end up, watching the content. Then you find yourself here, and it's like a little bit of a flow. But if that flow stops instead of being a flow, your life, and you've discovered this, you discover that on YouTube, this, that, and the other. Instead of that, if it becomes like a collection pool and you just stay in the same pool, it can stagnate. And I think that you should, like, if you're still watching the same videos as you were watching 10 years ago, maybe there's an issue, because like in 10 years you could have done a lot of changing. And I think that you will all agree that there are people that you used to watch maybe a year, maybe 2, maybe 10 years ago, that you've moved on from. And maybe, I get this a lot with the ASMR as well. People check back in to see what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and I'm not doing the ASMR anymore. I'm doing something different. Oh, they probably don't like it. I'm not going to watch, but whatever. It's important that I keep moving forward and changing, isn't it? So if people are watching Phil and they're into this right now, that's cool, that's fine. I understand it. I'm in the same boat, but because of this process of the content that he's been making, the story, the arc and the wave has blossomed at this moment in this way. They're producing a show that is a centre point, a focus point for that community, so it's helping with that. But if Phil's prepared to try and move on, then I'm surprised none of these people are. And they're not very quick to notice if he does anything positive, are they? They're not very quick to give him any benefit of any doubt. They won't be. I understand that. It's been going on for years now. But it's an interesting way. Either this is going to play out and things are going to change in the next couple of years, months, year, 2 years, or in 2 to 5 years, some people could still be doing the same damn thing. And that's, if Phil's in a rut and he's in his own rut, that's one thing, isn't it? Because that's what you critique him for, being in a big rut, whatever. But if it's you and you're still in the same rut, and at least you can look at Phil and say, well, my life's not his. Well, your life might be his. You might be one step away. So the problem, as you see it, stems to too early access to a forum where you're detached from the normal interactivity on the emotional scape. Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. The same can be said for people who grew up but ended up replacing real life interactions with pure disinterested discourse. Going into their space and trying to campaign sounds like a losing, horrible uphill battle, yeah. Although it's not, right? I'll tell you why. It's in one way it's not, because if I ask that question direct, if I put my voice on their show, I don't know if they vet the calls. They might listen to the call and say, I'm not dealing with that. But if they have me on the show in my call and I ask the question direct, I would say Alt Insider would be unsure. He'd say, I'm not going to use wheelchairs. I see what you mean. I'm not going to say these things about autistic people, but I might still call them dense. Like Alt Insider, I'm not sure about. Sam, I think, would just say, I'll write it all off completely. I will not say dense. I will not say wheelchair. I will not say, ask directly about it. Will understand what I'm saying and will just agree with me 100%. Steve, I think, will 100% agree with me. I've asked him before I did the show, people use these words. I don't want to use them on my channel. I think they're slurs against the disabled. How do you feel about this? And he said, yes, I agree that we shouldn't say wheelchairs and things like that. I don't use those terms. So I was happy to have him on my show. I've already been questioned it, but I'm not going to speak for him. I've said what I asked him so that I could have him on my show, but I'm not going to speak for him. But I'm sure if he did speak for himself, he'd be happy enough to speak for himself and say what I just said. So I assume that because I've asked him, I'm like man to man. I'm the sort of person that will deal with things in a direct conversation, man to man or person to person, not being patriarchal, that won't want to have a big kerfuffle. And if we can do it in DMs or private messages, I won't show them to the public, but I will sometimes say things like I have just done, just in the flow of conversation, and hope it doesn't fuck up. But I'm confident in those three will actually be on my side. So it's not my side, it's on the side of modernity. I'm confident they'll understand, and then it would just be Meerkat stood by saying Spurg is okay and saying autism is okay. They could discuss it, disagree, agree, whatever, but it'd be out there in the community. And if anyone didn't agree and hated me and it was an uphill battle, I don't care. I just don't care. It's not about, I'm not pushing the stone uphill. I'm putting it out there, making sure everyone's heard it. And if they don't want to agree with me, fuck them, they're cunts. Like they are. They've had it shown. They've shown publicly to be cunts. So I just stop watching them and walk away. And I'm happy with that because I don't want to keep watching this and being part of it. If we're bullying someone about autistic bullying, I don't want to do that. I'd rather know where I stand. So for me, the problem I've got is that I don't know where I stand, how I feel, because I don't know where they stand and how they feel. But I feel like I do. If I was to be pushed, then the uphill battle, the campaign, yeah, you're never going to win a campaign. But I wouldn't make it into a giant thing. I just make it into a thing where everyone heard it and saw it and knew it had been said. In the law, in the long-term law, that was that week when that guy made all that fuss about wheelchairs. Do you remember that? Yeah, I remember one guy made some fuss about wheelchairs. We all said fuck him, and we like calling people wheelchairs. Yeah, I remember that. Just if it was just that, that's fine. Because I know what I've done, they know what they've done, it's been done. At the moment, no one in the community has said it. I haven't seen anywhere, like if I go on, we are on Firefox, sorry. If I go on Firefox and YouTube, if I say dark side fill DSP wheelchairs dense, if I just put that, sorry, dense, then obviously my thing comes up, doesn't it? But Exodus of Dents, King of Hate debunking documentary, maybe they discussed it, I haven't watched it, but these other things talk about dents and wheelchairs. They don't, like, you're not getting a video here saying this is wrong or someone's discussing it, are they? No one's discussing it. So they're all very quick to like rip Phil for something that he's done wrong, but when they're doing something wrong, they're not discussing it. It's not being discussed. And also on the That Being Said podcast, if you go on theirs, you see, now I'm doing it on this channel, on this episode, and it doesn't belong here, but I'm going to finish in a minute, and this is going to be the end, so if you don't want to listen to it, fuck off. But if you go on here, on their search here, and I search wheelchairs, for example, this one features a section in the video called Podcast Begins, DSP's Racism and Wheelchair War. So I don't know exactly, you know, it mentions the wheelchairs there. You know, I haven't listened to it all to pick up exactly whether they're right or wrong in context, but you know what I mean? The terms there, the terminology's there on their channel. And Dents brings up all the videos, but I don't know why. I can't tell you whether they've tagged it with Dents or not. Does that mean? But no, they're not making any videos set talking about wheelchairs and Dents, apart from the one that had a section talking about wheelchairs. But I noticed in King Jad's chat yesterday the wheelchair symbol went past, and I didn't like it. I think it was a moderator used it, and I just thought, what the fuck? And then, you know, it had gone. And again, I find when that's happening, I don't know how to or what to do to deal with it. But this is, you know, this is a bit of a gang fun club, isn't it? So I will watch today and try and not kick up too much fuss. If I see wheelchair stuff going on and all that, next week you can expect me to be coming for you. In a simple and straightforward way as a grown-up, just to say, where do you stand on this, as a direct question. And I think that's fair, isn't it? I think that'll be fair. So, tagged it probably, yeah, probably tagged it. So, sticking to your principles despite the outcome is victory for sure. Exactly, yeah, that's all I'm going to be able to ever achieve, isn't it? The worry that I can see a worry as well, though, is that you enter into someone I'm new to their community. I'm like an outsider, and I don't necessarily belong in their community, and I'm not trying to be a detractor. I'm not trying to create a detractor channel. So to go in there, be around for a little bit, and then say, right, I'm bigger than all of you, and this is what you're doing wrong, they're going to fucking hate that, aren't they? And that's obviously not what I'm trying to do, but it will come across like that. I've been here for a little bit, I don't like this. Well, fuck off then. They're all going to say fuck off then, aren't they? So
this vest is a symbol of that positivity. It's a symbol that together we can have fun. As long as we stay positive, we can overcome anything together.
And the shame of it is the hypocrisy.
In my life, all right, that no matter what comes my way, that we can work together to overcome.
So I can't be a part of hypocrisy, but I know I've said it now. This is the end of the Genshin Impact stream. It was just a short stream. It was a nothing stream, wasn't it? Today, just for a little bit of being on, because I'm not on as much as I should be this week, and I probably won't be this week or next week while I work hard in the background to try and create things for the future. So yeah, I'm going to get on and watch this now upstairs. It might be on the B-side channel later, might not. You Be Good, My Little Podcast. We'll rejoin this tomorrow, where we will probably still be in bloody prison. She's locked up in a prison. She's only just got out. Now she's in another bloody prison. So we'll rejoin that tomorrow. Exit. Bye-bye Genshin Impact. Bye-bye Firefox. And bye-bye you. If you can't be good, you're naughty. Thanks for talking with me about things that are interesting, that I find interesting. I hope you find them interesting too. If there's anything you ever want to talk about on stream, don't hesitate to bring it up. We can always do episodes on it on this, the other channel. See everything grow coming in the future. And thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks.